One day it's your neck, the next day it's your ribs, then suddenly it's your jaw, your legs, or a headache. Don't you just wish that fibromyalgia pain would stay still? If it stayed in one place, at least we could understand it. But the constant shifting is exhausting. In this video, I want to explain exactly why pain moves around your body and how understanding these patterns can stop worry. This builds on my last two videos about pain sensitivity and nerve pain, but today we are connecting the dots to see the bigger picture of how load moves through your system. Let's start with a clear reframe. Moving pain doesn't mean you're imagining things, it doesn't mean you're getting worse, and it doesn't mean that your body is breaking down. Fibromyalgia pain moves because load, tension, sensitivity, and stress move. Pain tends to show up wherever your system is most overloaded that day. There are a few shared foundations behind this. A sensitive system reacts more strongly. The body compensates when one area hurts. Stress and fatigue lower tolerance everywhere, and old vulnerable areas tend to flare first. With that in mind, I want to go through some common areas of the body and explain why pain often shows up there. This isn't an exhaustive list, and it doesn't mean these are the only reasons that pain occurs, but these are some of the most common patterns people with fibromyalgia notice. So let's start with the neck and shoulders. Neck and shoulder pain is one of the most common complaints with fibromyalgia. This is very often linked to tension and posture. Stress, emotional load, poor sleep, long periods of sitting, and screen use all play a role as well. Even sitting on the sofa in the evening holding your phone up can overload the shoulders and the neck without you realizing it. We brace, we hold, often subconsciously. This kind of pain is usually about tension and load, not damage. But if posture and tension aren't addressed over time, it can lead to longer-term strain. So it's something to pay attention to without panicking about it. I often get pain in my neck and shoulder, and it's partly to do with computer work, and I sit in the evening holding my phone and my shoulders get stuck in one position. I regularly get a massage from my husband on my neck just to keep the pain down. But I know this is easily done, so I totally empathise with this sort of pain. So now let's look at the ribs and chest pain. This can feel particularly worrying. For many people with fibromyalgia, this pain is linked to stress, anxiety, breathing patterns, and muscle tension around the rib cage. Shallow breathing, bracing, holding yourself tense, or being on high alert can tighten the muscles between the ribs, which can cause sharp or intense pain. It can also flare after coughing or chest infections. I've experienced this myself. After chest infections and heavy coughing, all the muscles around my ribs became extremely painful and sensitive. This type of pain can sometimes feel so sharp, especially in the middle here, that it made me worry about my heart. And if you're ever unsure, it's always okay to get chest pain checked. That's about being sensible, not anxious. Now let's talk about jaw and facial pain next. Jaw and facial pain in fibromyalgia is very commonly linked to tension and habit. Clenching your jaw during the day, grinding your teeth at night, holding tension in your face when other parts of your body are in pain. When one part of the body is in pain, another part often tightens in response. So jaw pain can also be linked to dental or jaw issues, not just grinding your teeth, which is why it's worth mentioning it to your dentist if it's a recurring problem. For me, I wear a mouthguard at night because I do grind my teeth. I know when I've been grinding more because I'll wake up with jaw pain and sometimes cheek pain as well. And sometimes that will turn into a headache too. Again, this isn't about blame, it's about understanding how the body spreads load when it's under strain. Next, a symptom that a lot of us struggle with, headaches. Headaches in fibromyalgia are often less about one single cause and more about overall load, like fatigue, poor sleep, emotional effort, sensory overload when there's too much noise, conversation, or stimulation. In my experience, I often get headaches after busy days or particularly after long conversations. Tension in the neck, shoulders, and jaw can contribute too, but headaches often reflect that the system as a whole has had enough. Now let's look at other parts of the body like your back, your legs, and your feet. Back, leg, knee and foot pain in fibromyalgia is extremely common, and it's often linked to movement patterns, posture and load. So reduced movement can lead to stiffness and weakness. Weight can increase strain through the legs and joints. Flat feet, altered gait or postural changes can shift load up through the knees, hips and lower back. I'll be honest about myself again here. Since developing fibromyalgia, my weight has increased, my mobility has reduced, and that's not a failure. It's a reality of living with this condition that limits activity. I notice that if I miss my daily walks on the treadmill, my knees become stiff and clicky. If I don't move enough, my legs ache more. And that's my body telling me something. Leg pain can also be linked to nutrient deficiencies, things like iron or B12 or vitamin D. So that's why it can be helpful from time to time to have blood levels checked, especially if leg pain is persistent or worsening. Sometimes addressing something simple like nutrition can reduce the intensity of pain across the whole system. Another piece that's really important here is pain memory. Your body remembers pain. Old injuries, childhood strain, repetitive movements, these areas become familiar pathways for pain when your nervous system is sensitive. These areas may go quiet for years and then flare again during periods of stress or overload. For me, I have an old shoulder pain from helping my mum with sewing when I was very young. She was a tailor. That exact spot still returns during times of stress for me, even if I haven't physically strained it. The nervous system often revisits familiar routes when it's under pressure. Posture and daily habits matter too. Working at a computer, sitting on the sofa in the evenings, standing for too long in one position. I love sitting on the sofa with a blanket at the end of the day, but I know my posture isn't always great, and I notice it later in my neck and shoulders or the next day. One of the biggest triggers for moving pain is doing one thing for far too long, and I covered this a little in the last video. So sitting for too long, standing for too long, walking for too long. The fibromyalgia body doesn't like extremes. So what does all this understanding actually give you? This understanding doesn't explain every pain. It doesn't give you full control, but it helps you stop seeing moving pain as an attack and start seeing it as information about where you are overloaded, where you are holding tension, what might need a small adjustment. Even having a possible explanation can be calming. Understanding these patterns can help you make small, realistic changes to your day-to-day routine that reduce symptoms over time. And in the next video, we'll look at how to reduce fibromyalgia pain without overtiring yourself or fighting your body, using everything we've talked about so far. Until then, take care of yourself and be well.